Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining the Run Your Day podcast. As always, this is Dan Hafner coming at you today with another topic inside of this topic of reflection. Today, what I'm going to talk about is be happy for others. Sit back, relax, and enjoy the show.
Welcome to the Run Your Day podcast, where our goal is to expand your focus and perspective on life. This is your daily dose of motivation, mindfulness, and so much more. And now, here to help you take your day back, your host, Dan Hafner.
All right, everyone. Thank you again for joining. I hope you're having a fantastic week this week. It is currently Thursday, and the weekend is right around the corner here. So today's topic, being happy for others. I wanted to talk about this topic inside of this theme of reflection for the week. And this kind of came to me a long time ago, and I've been wanting to get around to talking about this. And this I thought was a perfect fit for this week of reflection. And what I'm trying to talk about here inside of this topic is genuinely being happy for other people. A lot of us, I think, can feel jealousy, right? This whole social media effect is a very, very real thing. You can go on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, whatever you're going on, and see nothing but seemingly success from other people, happiness, things that you wish you may have had, right? It's all through a filter, though. There's this effect that happens when you see other people experiencing success, and you might not be experiencing success, or you're going through a rough day or a rough patch, and it almost triggers you, right? Like you feel, oh man, like they're just killing it. They make more money than me. They have a happier relationship than me. They have a cuter dog than me. Whatever. The list never ends, right? That brings jealousy. That brings resentment. And that is not something that you need to go through your day with or your life with. It just is a poison inside of you. And I used to be like this, like a lot. Growing up, playing sports, I got more into a competitive type mindset all the time, right? Where if I failed, someone else succeeded. If I succeeded, someone else failed. So that's the binary way of competition, right? And I think a lot of us are conditioned in life to think that everything works that way. And yes, although in life there are winners and losers in a lot of different things, just because someone has success does not mean that you cannot have success also. Success is not a commodity. It's not a physical thing like gold, where there's only so much of it in the world and the price fluctuates from second to second. Success and happiness and joyfulness and anything like that is not a commodity. Just because one person is making a ton of money doesn't mean that you should hate them for that. You should be like, oh, okay, if they did it, I can do it. Or they can serve as an example to me of, well, what did they do to do that, to obtain that? Maybe I need to do more of what they're doing. Work longer hours, put in more work, be more dedicated, get up and work out more, do whatever it takes to get there. For the longest time in my life, I would get so triggered by people. And it really, what it comes down to is if you find yourself being triggered by the success and happiness of others, that's genuine, not that's fake. A lot of times on Facebook, you could see a filtered version of people, and they might really not be happy, or they might really not make money, or things like that. But if you find yourself triggered by somebody or something in your life that is genuinely like crushing it in whatever area, let that serve as an example. Let that serve as something that, like, if you're genuinely happy for them, you move past this feeling of resentment, of hate, of contentment, and you're like, it's hard to explain, but you kind of move into a feeling of fulfillment is the best word that I can find right now for that. It really, it is. It's a feeling of fulfillment. And, celebrating other people's success is something that I never did. I was always very like, well, they're succeeding and I'm not succeeding, so they must just be better than me and I suck and I'm a failure. But really what it is a reflection of that, you're not doing the work. You're not doing what's required to succeed. And that's what I never did. The reason that you get triggered like that is because you see other people succeeding and you want that, but then you're not willing to actually do what it takes to succeed, so you're triggered. Like, this doesn't make sense. It might make sense to you in your head, and believe me, I know how it feels because I've felt that way for a long, long time. But then when you learn to get past that, you're like, oh, okay, well, why am I triggered right now? Because I see someone else succeeding, and I'm upset about that because I'm more upset about myself. I'm disappointed in myself for not putting in the work, for not trying to succeed, for not doing what I need to do. And then you just change it. So the more you can actually be happy for someone and actually sit in their success and be like, you know what? You're right, man. Like, you deserve this. Like, you worked hard for this. Like, it's a great feeling. And it fuels this. It's hard to explain, but it fuels this feeling of possibility, of fulfillment, of, hey, if this is possible for them, what could be possible for me? What could I do? What could Dan Hafner do if he really, really wanted to? If he really did not accept failure as an option, or insert your name into that statement. What could blank be possible of, or be capable of? And don't allow yourself to feel that fear. Like, what would you do if you knew you wouldn't fail, or that you knew you would succeed? I mean, it's an interesting thought to have, right? I mean, an example that comes to my mind here inside of this topic is, one guy I've been working with for a long time. He's been going through a lot, and just with different jobs, different, moving, there's like a lot of stressful things going on in his life. And when he finally broke through that and got past that, those few stressful months, like, you can just tell in his demeanor that things are just better. Things are easier. You just walk with your head held high a little bit more. And it's like, you know what, man? Like, good for you. Like, I'm happy for you. You did the work. You kept your head down. You stuck it out, and you became a better person for it. And there's no resentment there. There's no feeling of jealousy there, because it's like, you know what? I watched you go through all that process, and I saw how it changed you. And a lot of people aren't happy for people because they don't see them go through that process. You see on Facebook, you see the end result of something. You don't see the toil and the process and the struggle that went into those moments of those pictures or that post or getting that new job or anything. You don't see the ugly stuff that went into that. Our world is very conditioned to filter out the ugly stuff. But you can be more happy for people when you realize that they are going through the ugly stuff just like you. And that if they can do it, so can you. That rhymed a little bit, and I didn't mean to, but it's just the way it came out. So think about this today. How can you seriously be happy for someone today? Is there someone that that's been going through a tough time, or that maybe is just succeeding and you've held a grudge for a long time, or somebody that, you just, every time you see them, they trigger you because that you just want what they have? Take a step back today and try to think of it from their view. Think of it and just try to be happy for them, that they have earned what they have. It's one thing if someone was just given something, like obviously, that's a whole different situation. But if somebody truly worked for what they have and they obtained it through their own blood, sweat, and tears, be happy for them. Be happy for them, because the more happy you can be for someone, the more you feel fulfilled, the more you have that feeling of promise for yourself, and the more focused you can be. And I've experienced this firsthand many, many times. I used to be that person that held grudges, and I'm telling you, it gets you nowhere. It gets you nowhere except just internal strife and pain. So that's my message for you today. I hope you get something from it. I really appreciate you guys listening. That's going to wrap up today's show. We'll come at you one more time this week, possibly two. I might even have a surprise episode for you guys on the weekend here. And I might have just spoiled the surprise, but that's all right. Thank you very much again for listening. Really appreciate y'all out there. And again, please follow me on Facebook, like us on Twitter, and feel free to engage with us in any way possible. Really appreciate you guys. We will come at you tomorrow with another episode. Until then, this is Dan Hafner signing off. Thank you very much, and have a good one.
Thank you for listening to the Run Your Day podcast. We hope you enjoyed today's show. If you did, feel free to share today's show with friends and family. Until next time, have a great day.